During the Iraq and America War, many Iraqi citizens fled to Turkey to survive. The film Turtles Can Fly brilliantly portrays the impact of war on people, especially children. This film allows us to imagine what it would feel like to be in such a war. Interestingly, the cast members in the movie are real-life war survivors, making it a film you won't easily forget. At the beginning of the movie, a young girl named Agrin walks slowly toward the edge of a cliff. Even at this point, we can already guess what she's about to do, but the question is, why? The film then flashes back to a few weeks earlier. It shows the daily activities of the villagers, busy adjusting their antennas to catch a proper signal to get news about Saddam Hussein. Among them is a boy named Soren. Thanks to his skill in fixing antennas and his ideas about satellites, the villagers call him Satellite. While Satellite is repairing an antenna, Agrin approaches him while carrying a small child. She asks him for a rope. Satellite then calls his friend, Pasho, to bring the rope. Satellite is a smart kid and is considered a hero in the village. He proposes to the village elder, Ismail, that they should install their own satellite. Ismail agrees, and they go to the market to buy satellite equipment. At the market, Satellite buys a satellite dish, but since he doesn't have enough money, he trades his radio for it. Meanwhile, a disabled boy named Hengov is shown defusing a landmine, accompanied by his sister, Agrin. Despite not having hands, Hengov is very skilled at defusing mines to sell them. Soon after, Satellite arrives, angry at Pasho for working in an area he hadn't authorized. Pasho explains that Hengov instructed them to work there because there are more mines. Hearing this, Satellite gets mad because he considers himself the leader of the children and doesn't want anyone to challenge him. Hengov and Agrin leave, taking the small child, Riga, with them. While untying the rope that Agrin requested earlier, Satellite mocks Hengov. Annoyed, Hengov headbutts Satellite, and they start fighting. Even after Hengov and Agrin walk away, Satellite continues to taunt them. Eventually, the satellite dish is installed, and the TV is turned on. But a new problem arises. No one in the village understands the news on TV, because it's in English. Only Satellite can translate it. He informs the villagers that the US is planning to invade Iraq. The next morning, Hengov wakes up to find Riga missing. He finds Riga crying by a barbed wire fence, calling for his mum. Satellite passes by, picks him up, and returns him to Hengov. Satellite gazes deeply at Agrin, hinting at his feelings for her. Later, Satellite gathers his friends at the junkyard. Soon, a truck carrying missile shells arrives, and the children rush to unload it for money. Agrin and Hengov are also there. Agrin stares blankly at the missiles, remembering how they killed her parents. Hengov, sensing an impending explosion, warns Pasho. The children quickly leave the truck, and moments later, it explodes, releasing thick smoke. After this incident, Satellite begins to trust Hengov's predictions. The next day, as usual, Satellite leads his friends in searching for mines. He later meets Agrin fetching water and helps her. Their conversation hints at budding affection from Satellite towards Agrin. Agrin then asks Satellite to catch fish in a nearby lake. Without hesitation, Satellite jumps into the water, but it turns out to be a trap. Agrin runs away as soon as he enters the lake. That night, back at the camp, Agrin struggles with a toothache. Hengov gives her kerosene to rinse her mouth. Agrin confesses that she dislikes Riga and refuses to take care of him anymore. Hengov places Riga in front of her, making her angry. Late at night, Agrin sneaks out to the lake with kerosene and a torch. She tries to set herself on fire, but hears a child calling out, "Didi, come back, I want to be with you." Realizing she still has love for Riga, Agrin returns to the camp and hugs him tightly as they sleep. A few years earlier, Agrin and Hengov's parents were killed during the war. Agrin was also gang raped, resulting in her pregnancy with Riga. This is why she can't accept Riga as her son. He is a painful reminder of that traumatic event. The next morning, Hengov wakes up and finds Agrin hitting Riga because she can't stand his crying. Hengov rushes to find a doctor, with Agrin following behind. Meanwhile, Satellite coincidentally offers them a ride. Agrin, however, heads to a cliff, haunted by memories of her assault. We know what she's thinking. Hengov, on his way to the doctor with Satellite, has a vision of an imminent war. Satellite immediately warns the villagers, urging them to take shelter on a nearby hill. The villagers panic and rush to safety, everyone except Agrin, Hengov, and Riga. Satellite asks why they aren't coming, but Hengov remains silent. Moments later, a helicopter arrives, calling on people to fight for Saddam Hussein. Knowing the war is truly about to begin, Satellite trades landmines for weapons to defend the village. One night, Agrin asks Hengov when they will leave. Hengov replies that they'll leave once Riga gets better. Agrin insists that she won't take Riga with them, saying she'd rather leave alone. Hengov refuses to abandon Riga. At dawn, Agrin takes Riga to a minefield, ties his legs, and leaves him there. She kisses and hugs him for the last time. As Agrin walks away, Riga calls out for her, unaware that she's leaving him forever. Agrin disappears into the mist, crying as she hears him calling for her. Meanwhile, Satellite and his friends are building a fortress when someone tells them that a child is in the minefield. Satellite rushes to save Riga, instructing him not to move. But being a child, Riga doesn't understand and steps dangerously close to a mine. Satellite accidentally steps on a mine but is fortunately saved in time, and Riga is rescued. Later, Pasha informs Satellite that Saddam Hussein has been captured and the war will end the next morning. That night, Agrin is shocked to see Riga still alive. She takes him to the lake, ties a heavy stone to his feet, and throws it into the water. Riga sinks to the bottom. Hengov, having a nightmare, wakes up crying and searches for Riga. At the lake, he finds Satellite sitting there, crying. Realizing what has happened, Hengov dives into the lake and finds Riga at the bottom, his feet tied. This is one of the most heartbreaking scenes. Hengov frantically searches for Agrin, screaming her name. But she's gone. He climbs a hill and finds Agrin's shoes. We know what she has done. Hengov takes his sister's shoes in his mouth and leaves the place, ending the film.